of the students are from Bhaktivedanta batch, so they know you very well. But for the new students and for refreshing the memory of others, I'll repeat it. Maharaj studied at the University of Wales from 2004 to 16 and earned an MA degree in 2010 and a PhD in study of religion in June 2016. He also graduated for studies in Bhakti Shastri from Mayapur Institute. Bhakti VIHE and Bhaktivedanta he did from VIHE from 2001 to 2011. Since 2012, he's serving as Bhakti Shastri and Bhakti Vaibhav teacher, conducting even Bhaktivedanta, conducting on-site and online teaching programs for the College of Vedic Studies. Since 2019, he also serves as Bhakti Vaibhav Bhaktivedanta teacher for Mayapur Institute as well as VIHE. He is also a member of Shastric Advisory Council and a member of various committee of Ministry of Sannyas. He has been preaching internationally since 1996, presenting seminars and lectures. His regular preaching areas since 1998 is Belgium. He visits also occasionally other areas in Europe, North America, and India, if invited, but they are not his regular destinations. After being stationed in Leicester, UK for developing education from 2012 to 2016 and having served as temple president for Belfast for 1 year, he moved in 2018 to his home base to Vitram project in Emona, Bulgaria. In 2019 and 20, he spent at least 5 months each year in Bulgaria. However, due to closure of the project at the end of 2021, he moved to his home base from Bulgaria to Brussels in Belgium. Since 2017, Maharaj preaches occasionally in Canada, Ukraine, Germany, Czech Republic. In Belgium, he supports the center in Brussels and preaches in the Flemish area of Belgium. His preaching in Canada is focused on the Quebec French-speaking area, but he also includes yearly visits to provinces Ontario, New Brunswick, and Nova Scotia. Since the start of pandemic and later because of the war in Ukraine, he continued presenting weekly Srimad Bhagavatam lectures via Zoom for devotees in Lviv and Odessa, simultaneously being translated in their language by His Grace Damodar Govinda Prabhu from Kiev. And Maharaj has been instrumental in completely helping us with the graduating of another batch of Bhaktivedanta recently before this batch. And he has been helping with this batch also. But currently, due to his increasing responsibilities and health, he has been a little slow. But without Maharaj's help, we could not even think of having this course. So we are very much grateful that Maharaj has helped us so far, and we look forward to his continued association and all the services he has rendered. Thank you so much, Maharaj. Please carry on. Some students may join anytime, online course.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you for introducing me. Whatever I've done good in my devotional life is due to the blessing of my spiritual masters and Srila Prabhupada. Om Ajnana Timrandasya Chanansana Shnakya Shakshun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam
Recording in progress.
Yena Bhutale Svamrupakadamayam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shiro Shiyuda Padakamanam Shirum Vaishnavam Shah Shirupam Sarajatam Sakanaragnatam Vitam Tam Sajivan Satvaitam Savadutam Parjama Saitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sakanalita Shivishakam Vitamsha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Chatpate Gopesha Gopka Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sutadevi Pranamama Haripriye. Vancha Kalptrubhisha Kripasinubhisha Patnam Pavanabhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namah. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaura Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namini. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prachari Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paskachai Desatarni Srila Prabhupada Ki. So we will be together for a few days, going to the 10th canto, chapter 22. Krishna steals the garments of the unmarried Gopis. Then we will hear in chapter 23 about the wives of the ritualistic Brahmins. And then chapter 24, the worship of Govardhan. And then chapter 25, Krishna will break the pride of Indra, and Indra will come to his senses. So I accepted to teach this section, although it was extended a bit in time, but made it difficult to fit it in my schedule. Therefore, on Monday I'm traveling, I'm traveling the whole day. I will not be able to to facilitate the session. And also on the 21st, the last day, I'm traveling to Heuenstein, Wiesbaden by train from Belgium. It's a long journey. And I have programs there, so I will not be able to give that session also. So we will have to go a little quicker than planned, than scheduled. So I will use the entire 2 hours every lesson to be able to cover the entire section. So the first section, chapter 22, Krishna steals the garments of the unmarried Gopis. So we have heard in the previous chapter about the Venu Gita. Now Sukadeva Goswami is going to describe what happens next. So the Gopis have heard the sound of Krishna's flute. We heard that the rivers stopped flowing. They've stopped flowing their natural course. And they went to flow to the lotus feet of Krishna. So the Gopis were feeling their ability, that their ability to stop their natural course was beyond their control. The natural course being their love for Krishna, but not their natural social course in relationship with family, etc. So the sound of Krishna's flute pulled them from that course very powerfully. So now we are hearing about the unmarried Gopis. So we will read the first text. It comes here. It's on the screen. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Shisuka Uvacha Hemante Pratame Masi Nanda Vracha Kumarika Sherur Avishyam Bunchana Katyayan Archana Vratam. So, can someone read the translation and the purport, which is on the screen?
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Oh,
Please read.
Sukadeva Goswami said, during the first month of the winter season, the young unmarried girls of Gokul observed the vow of worshipping the goddess Katyani. For the entire month they ate only unspiced khichdi.
Purport.
The word Hemante refers to the month of Margashira, from approximately the middle of November to the middle of December, according to the Western calendar. In chapter 22 of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Srila Prabhupada comments that the Gopis first ate Haivishyan, a kind of food prepared by boiling together mung dal and rice without any spices or turmeric. According to Vedic injunction, this kind of food is recommended to purify the body before one enacts a ritualistic ceremony.
Thank you. So, before there is an echo somewhere. So before we heard the mood of the married Gopis, now we will hear the mood of the unmarried Gopis. The married Gopis were feeling basically that they were imprisoned. Imprisoned by the fact that they were married. Their love, their hearts, their entire selves were given to Krishna. Especially in this chapter, we have to remember that the Gopis were part of a culture that was very, very strict. When Bhujan Prabhu spoke on these verses, he said that once he had heard a lecture of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada was saying that in the West, the young boys and the young girls, they are always talking. But in India, the young boys don't desire to talk to young girls, and young boys don't desire to talk to young girls. But the culture prohibits it completely. It stops it. Because the culture is very strict and very strong, it is moral and ethical. So Prabhupada spoke it at least 50 years ago. But it says, the Gopis were part of a culture that promoted complete modesty and complete chastity. It is a very strong part of the culture, but it is quickly disintegrating generation after generation. As Kali Yuga progresses, all morality disintegrates and immediate sensual pleasures become everything. And if you try to talk about morality, people will think that it is quite old-fashioned. The new morals is what people want, and the new morals are basically immorality, especially on the sexual level. It are the women who hold the fabric of culture together. That has been completely eroded. So the Gopis were not part of that contemporary modern culture. They were completely modest. Unless we understand their modesty and chastity, we don't understand the type of surrender that they performed of giving themselves to Krishna. By contemporary standards, the fact that later on they are going to dance with Krishna, whether married or not, in the middle of the night, it doesn't seem like a great surrender of anything, because today people are doing these types of things continuously. It is their life. It is complete. It is completely accepted to see ladies partially dressed. There is the beach, there is the movement, all advertising. So that is one level that we need to view these pastimes, to understand surrender. The current state is really unnatural. That is what is natural, the state of shyness. So they never met Krishna. They only exchanged glances. So to understand the pastime, on one level, we need to understand the social setting on another level. So we need to learn the nature of surrender in Gopi Bhav. Here they speak about Katyayani. Katyayani is not the material Durga Devi, but is the internal energy of the Lord. They worship every morning Katyayani for a particular purpose, which we all know. They wanted Krishna as their husband. Naturally, one wants to marry the one who one loves. Without the mercy of higher powers, they cannot have Krishna as their husband. For an entire month, they performed this Katyayani Vrata. They vowed to worship Katyayani. So on this chapter, Sanatana Goswami does not comment so much. He does not comment so much. But Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur comments, and its comments are unique and expansive. So we have read the first verse, but I will bring the commentaries of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur on the screen. A moment, I have to start it here. Okay, here it is. A moment, it's coming. Oh, something wrong here. It's starting. Just a moment. Yeah, I have it here now. I'm going to verse 10, 22, 1. Yeah, I have it here. Now I will show it you on the screen. Share. It's a little small. I will make it bigger, move it up. Yeah. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, this chapter describes the worship of Katyayani, the stealing of the Gopis' clothing. Krishna's conversation with the Gopis and Krishna fulfilling the wishes of the Gopis, as well as Krishna praising the trees. After describing the attraction of the married Gopis, such as Radha to Krishna in the autumn season, there is a description of the unmarried Nitya Siddha Gopis, such as Danya, who were absorbed in talks of Krishna. According to local custom, we have to go to the next. The local custom, they performed the Katyayani Vrata during the Hemanta season in order to obtain Krishna as their husband. The distinction between these gopis, or in the first month of Hemanta, Margasira, and those like Radha is made in the Harivamsa, Vishnu Puran, and Brahma Puran in such verses as the following: The young unmarried Gopis gathered together while it was still and dark. So, after the Sharat season or the autumn season, we have the Hemanta season, the early winter. Now we are going. We have also purpose of Shiva Goswami that is there, but we cannot look at all these commentaries, but we will moment them. Oh, it's going wrong. Back to the beginning. So we have this verse 2 and 3. 2, 3, yeah, it's here. Moment, we go back first to the other. So can someone read the translation of 2, 3 and the purport, please?
Hare Krishna.
Please.
My dear king, after they had bathed in the water of the Yamuna, just as the sun was rising, the Gopis made an earthen deity of goddess Durga on the river bank. Then they worshipped her with such aromatic substances as sandalwood pulp, along with other items both opulent and simple, including lambs, fruits, betel nuts, newly grown leaves, and fragrant garlands and incense.
Yeah.
Purport.
Purport.
The word Balipi in this verse indicates offerings of clothing, ornaments, food, and so on. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you. Can someone read text 4, translation and purport?
Each of the young unmarried girls performed her worship while chanting the following mantra: O Goddess Katyayani, O great potency of the Lord, O possessor of great mystic power and mighty controller of all, please make the son of Nanda Maharaj my husband. I offer my obeisance to you. Purport. According to various acharyas, the goddess Durga mentioned in this verse is not the illusory energy of Krishna called Maya, but rather the internal potency of the Lord known as Yoga Maya. The distinction between the internal and external or illusory potency of the Lord is described in Narada Pancharatrika in the conversation between Shruti and Vidya. Janadi ekaparakantam saiva durgatat atmalya yapara paramasaktir mahavishnu sarupini yashya vijnana matrena paramam paramatmana muhurtat deva devasya prathapi bhavati nanyata ekayam prema sarvasva swabhava gokuleshwari anyasu lubo janye adidevo akileshwara asya avakha saktir maha maya kileshwari yaya mugdam jagat sarvam sarva dehabhi maninaha. The Lord's illusory potency known as Durga is dedicated to his loving service. Being the Lord's potency, this inferior energy is non-different from him. There is another superior potency whose form is on the same spiritual level as that of God himself. Simply by scientifically understanding this supreme potency, one can immediately achieve the supreme souls of all souls, who is the Lord of all lords. There is no other process to achieve him. The supreme potency of the Lord is known as Gokuleshwari, the goddess of Gokula. Her nature is to be completely absorbed in love of the God. And through her, one can easily obtain primal God, the Lord of all that be. This internal potency of the Lord has a covering potency known as Mahamaya, who rules the material world. In fact, she bewilders the entire universe, and thus everyone within this universe falsely identifies himself with the material body. From the above, we can understand that the internal and external or the superior or inferior potencies of the Supreme Lord are personified as Yogamaya and Mahamaya. Respectively, the name Durga is sometimes used to refer to the internal superior potency as stated in the Panchatra. In all mantras used to worship Krishna, the presiding deity is known as Durga. Thus, in this transcendental sound vibration, glorifying and worshipping the absolute truth, Krishna, the presiding deity of the particular mantra or hymn, is called Durga. The name Durga therefore refers also to the personality who functions as the internal potency of the Lord and who in thus on the platform of Suddha Sattva, pure transcendental existence. The internal potency is understood to be Krishna's sister, known as also as Ekamamasa or Subhadra. This is the Durga who was worshipped by the Gopis in Vrindavana. Several acharyas have pointed out that the ordinary people are sometimes bewildered and think that the name Mahamaya and Durga refers exclusively to the external potency of the Lord. Even if we accept hypothetically that the Gopis were worshipping the external Maya, there is no fault on this part, since in their pastimes of loving Krishna, they were acting as ordinary members of society. Srila Prabhupada comments in this regard, the Vaishnavas generally do not worship any demigods. Srila Narottam Thakur has strictly forbidden all worship of the demigods for anyone who want to advance in the pure devotional service. Yet the Gopis, who are beyond compared to their affection for Krishna, were seen to worship Durga, the worshippers of demigods. Also, sometimes mentioned that the Gopis are worshipped goddess Durga, but we must understand that the purpose of Gopis, generally, people worship goddess Durga for some material benediction. Here, the Gopis could adopt any means to satisfy or serve Krishna. That is the super excellent characteristic of Gopis. They worship goddess Durga completely for 1 month in order to have Krishna as their husband. Every day, they prayed for Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj, to become their husband. The conclusion is that the sincere devotee of Krishna will never imagine any material quality to exist in the transcendental Gopis, who are the most exalted devotees of the Lord. The only motivation in all their activities was simply to love and satisfy Krishna. And if we foolishly consider their activities to be mundane in any way, it will be impossible for us to understand Krishna consciousness.
Thank you. So they are worshipping Yoga Maya, who is the controller of Krishna's pastimes. So whichever side we take on this, Yoga Maya or Maya, they want Krishna as their husband. Why? Because it's completely natural. Why? Because they love him. They are first praising the goddess. They all wanted to be connected with Krishna because they loved him so completely. So practically speaking, it was their only desire to have Krishna as their husband. So now we have an interesting purport of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. We go again to the purport here. That's 3, 4. And long purports by our acharyas on these verses. We cannot go to all of them. But this is the purport we read just, and then you have Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's here. That we will make a little bigger. And move it. Oh, not easy to get it moving. Okay. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes, O Katyayani, make the son of the Gopatnanda our husband. So Katyayani replies, but why you are making this request to me independently? I can only do this by inspiring your parents to do it. Through them I can do this. Fearing this response, they said in anxiety, O great Yogini, you yourself must unite us with Krishna without obstacles caused by parents' interference. Being so eager, we cannot bear any delay, because Krishna is not yet got his Upanayan thread. He is not yet suitable for marriage. Therefore, without a normal wedding, but in the Gandharva style, let us marry him. O Adishvari, you have all powers, nothing is impossible for you. So, Katyayani, if you want to marry Krishna without your parents knowing, how are you going to carry out married life together with him? The Gopis reply, O Maya, supreme bewilderer, you should bewilder our parents so that they do not think of marrying us with anyone else, and so that they do not know our association with Krishna. O Devi, one who carries out pastimes or helps engage us in the Lord's pastimes, make the son of Nanda our husband and no one else. Thus, even if we marry someone else, there is no harm. In this way, thinking of the meaning of each mantra, the Gopis worshipped Katyayani. Ananda Vrindavan Champu says, O worshipful Devi, please accept this foot wash. Make our breast cool with the water from Krishna's feet. Please give us Krishna's association. We offer you this arghya. Give us association with Krishna, who is Maharga, most worshipable. The object, careful that it doesn't move. The object of their worship was Yoga Maya, from the Sid Shakti. She was not a material Maya. In the Narada Pancharatma, in the discussion of Shruti Vidya, it is said, this Durga is the supreme principle of energy of Mahavishnu, and not non-different from him. By her assistance, in 1 second one can attain Bhagavan. This chief energy of the Lord is the ruler of Gokul. So next, it is nearly finished. And is endowed with the highest prema. By the mercy, one can easily attain the Lord. Her Avarika Shakta is Maya, the mistress of infinite material universes. This Maya bewilders all the souls of the universes who think they are material bodies. Thus, in all mantras for Krishna, the spiritual Durga is the presiding deity. She is worshipped in meditation when reciting mantras. To confuse the Yoga Maya Durga with the Maya Durga is a mistake, and also because the pastimes of Vraj are very similar to material pastimes in appearance, there is no fault in worship of Maya Devi. Independent thinkers who think otherwise have no chance of getting even a touch of the breeze of the holding the scent of prema on their body. This is from the Vaishnava Toshani. So we see Shiva Goswami he quotes many times Shiva Goswami from the Harivamsa. That can read that also. It's here. No, it doesn't move. I can't get it because that's in the way here. Now I see it. Yeah. Thus, Katyayana is part of Svarupa Shakti, Jiva Goswami said, not the embodiment of material Shakti that creates universe. Then he quotes scripture from the Hayashirsha Pancharatma. The divine goddess is never present without Vishnu, nor does he ever appear without her. This refers to the Devi who is part of his Svarupa Shakti, since she is considered non-different from him. O soul of all that be, the creation and destruction of the universes are all carried out by a fraction of an expansion of your expansion. Today I've come to take shelter of you, the Supreme Lord. So this refers to the material Shakti. Jiva Goswami said that. Anyway, there are so many quotes which are proving what's in the purport, that this Durga is also Yoga Maya. Yoga Maya is addressed here, the spiritual energy of the Lord. So there are so many commentaries. Now we are coming to text 5. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur said, concludes this prema is nothing to do with this material world. And therefore the material energy cannot award one with prema bhakti. It's not possible. That's the conclusion. Now we can go to text 5, 6, and so on. We go back to the Veda base. And so I read text 5, 6, and 7.
For an entire month, the girls carried out their vows and properly worshipped the goddess Bhadrakali, fully absorbing their minds in Krishna and meditating upon the following thoughts. May the son of King Nanda become my husband. Text 6. Each day they rose at dawn, calling out to one another by name. They all held hands and loudly sang the glories of Krishna while going to Alindi to take their bath. Text
7 and purple.
Yeah. Okay. One day they came to the river bank and putting aside their clothing as they had done before, happily played in the water while singing the glories of Krishna. Purple. According to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, this incident occurred on the day the young Gopis completed their vow. It was a full moon day. To celebrate the successful completion of their vow, the girls invited young Radharani, daughter of Rishabhanu, and the special object of their affection, along with other important Gopis, and brought them all to the river bay. Then, playing in the water was meant to serve as the Avabhrita Stana, the ceremonial bath taken immediately after the completion of a Vedic sacrifice. Srila Prabhupada comments as follows. It is an old system amongst Indian girls and women that when they take bath in the river, they place their garments on the bank and dip into the water completely naked. The portion of the river where the girls and women take bath are strictly prohibited to any men. And this is still the system. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, knowing the minds of the unmarried gopis, awarded them the desired objective. They had prayed for Krishna to become their husband, and Krishna wanted to fulfill their desire. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So, they were just most simple and pure lovers of Krishna. That all the gopis came on this day. The reason was they were celebrating the completion of their vrata. Even the married gopis were invited. We will read also Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary on verse 6. Let's see, that's 5. We go to 6. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So this verse is a continuation of the thought of verse 2, describing how the gopis went to bath in the waters of the Yamuna. They called each other by name. Oh Danya, where are you? Why are you late? That and then we have text 7 that Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, Kadachit sometime here means on the full moon, when the vrata was completed after 1 month. This was mentioned in the 5th verse. These unmarried gopis also invited Radha and others who were objects of Krishna's love and could help fulfill their wishes. After completing the worship, the unmarried gopis sported with them in the water, as bathing is part of the Jagya rites. So they even invited the married gopis. So in text 8, there we will have Krishna starting with his transcendental naughtiness. So we have text 8. Can someone read the translation and the purport of text 8? I just do something. Yeah, text 8.
Hare Krishna.
So please read.
Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead and Master of all masters of mystic yoga, was aware of what the gopis were doing, and thus he went there surrounded by his young companions to award the gopis the perfection of their endeavor.
Yeah, purport.
As the master of all masters of mystic power, the Lord Krishna could easily understand the desire of the gopis, and he could also fulfill them. The gopis, like all young girls from respectable families, considered the embarrassment of appearing naked before a young boy to be worse than giving up their lives. Yet Lord Krishna made them come out of the water and bow down to him. Although the bodily forms of the gopis were all fully developed, and although Krishna met them in a secluded place and brought them fully under his control, because the Lord is completely transcendental, there was not a trace of material desire in his mind. Lord Krishna is the ocean of transcendental bliss, and he wanted to share his bliss with the gopis on the spiritual platform, completely free of ordinary lust. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains that the companions of Krishna mentioned here were mere toddlers, 2 or 3 years old. They were completely naked and were unaware of the difference between male and female. When Krishna went out to herd the cows, they followed him because they were so attached to him that they could not bear to be without his association.
So it is reminded here that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is not an ordinary living being under the sway of lust. What is attracting the Supreme Personality of Godhead to go to the bank of the Yamuna and doing what he is doing? What is attracting him? So Yoga Maya, Maya, they are both under control of the Supreme Lord. So these young friends are toddlers who cannot distinguish between male and female. So they cannot distinguish. So Krishna is doing this to reciprocate with the Gopis on the deepest spiritual level, and also to teach something to us, and this will be revealed. So we will miss the point of this pastime if we do not understand that Krishna is not motivated by lust. We need to understand that Krishna's motive is to increase the transcendental bliss of his devotees. Also the toddlers were attracted to Krishna. All living entities. We'll now read the commentary of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur to text 8. Moment, we are going to that. Share 8 is here. So, Krishna is the master of all masters of yoga. This means that he is omniscient. That means that he can fulfill each of the desires of each gopi. He was capable of stealing the clothing of all the gopis who had left their clothing within his sight. He was capable of bringing those gopis who had decided to give up their lives out of embarrassment out of the water, and make them each pay him respects. Though he had brought them under control, even though they were determined to keep their bodies secret, he could still refrain from enjoying with them. This is the import of the word Yogesvareshvara. Krishna was surrounded by friends who were younger boys. This is understood from other sources. These boys, who were about 2 to 3 years old, who could not distinguish between man and woman, and between men and women, and went about naked. They could not separate themselves from Krishna even while he went out herding the cows. Krama Dipka says he was surrounded by babies who spoke in broken language, who wore tiger claws around their necks, who were bound with shingling with bells around their waist, and had fat ties. The Vaishnava Tosani, quoting from Gautamiya Tantra, lists the names of the boys: Dama, Sudam, Vasudam, and Kinkini. They were the very personification of Krishna's heart. Interesting. Yes. The gopis wanted to serve Krishna with prema and with the highest desire to please Krishna. We'll now read the next text 10. First text 9. We go back to text 9. Can someone read text 9 and the following text also? You can go up from 9, we can read till 15.
Taking the girl's garments, he quickly climbed to the top of a kadamba tree. Then, as he laughed loudly and his companions also laughed, he addressed the girls jokingly.
No, sure. Just a moment. There's something wrong here.
May I read from the book?
Just a moment. And I bring it on the screen, but it disappeared one way or another. Okay, it will come back now. Text 10.
Yes. Lord Krishna said, "My dear girls, you may each come here as you wish and take back your garments. I'm telling you the truth and am not joking with you, since I see you are fatigued from executing austere vows.
Text 11.
I have never before spoken a lie, and these boys know it. Therefore, O slender-waisted girls, please come forward, either one by one or all together, and pick out your clothes." Seeing how Krishna was joking with them, the gopis became fully immersed in love for him. And as they glanced at each other, they began to laugh and joke among themselves, even in their embarrassment. But still, they did not come out of the water.
Yeah, can you read the purport?
Yes. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains this verse as follows. The gopis were from most respectable families, and they might have argued with Krishna, "Why don't you simply leave our clothes on the bank of the river and go away?" Krishna might have replied, "But there are so many of you that some of the girls might take clothes belonging to another." The gopis would reply, "We are honest and never steal anything. We never touch another's property." Then Krishna would say, "If that's true, then simply come and get your clothes. What is the difficulty?" When the gopis saw Krishna's determination, they were filled with loving ecstasy. Although embarrassed, they were overjoyed to receive such attention from Krishna. He was joking with them as if they were his wives or girlfriends, and the gopis' only desire was to achieve such a relationship with him. At the same time, they were embarrassed to be seen naked by him. But still, they could not help laughing at his joking words and even began to joke among themselves. One gopi urging another, "Go ahead, you go first, and let us see if Krishna plays any tricks on you. Then we will go later."
Yeah, 13.
As Sri Govinda spoke to the gopis in this way, his joking words completely captivated their minds. Submerged up to their necks in the cold water, they began to shiver. Thus, they addressed him as follows.
Yeah. You can read
Srila
the purport.
Vishwanath.
Yeah, please.
Should I read?
Please read also the purport, yeah.
Yes. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives the following example of joking between Krishna and the gopis. Krishna. Oh bird-like girls, if you do not come here, then with these garments caught in the branches, I'll make a swing and hammock. I need to lie down, since I have spent the entire night awake and am now becoming sleepy. Gopis. Our dear cowherd boy, your cows, greedy for grass, have gone into a cave, so you must quickly go there to herd them back to the proper path. Krishna. Come now, my dear cowherd girls, you must quickly go from here to Vraja and perform your household duties. Don't become a disturbance to your parents and other elders. Gopis. Our dear Krishna, we will not go home for an entire month, for it is by the order of our parents and other elders that we are executing this vow of fasting, the Katyayini Vrata. Krishna. My dear austere ladies, I too, by the strength of seeing you, have now developed a surprising mood of detachment from family life. I wish to stay here for a month and execute the vow of dwelling in the clouds. And if you show mercy to me, I can come down from here and observe the vow of fasting in your company. The gopis were completely captivated by Krishna's joking words, but out of shyness, they submerged themselves in the water up to their necks, shaking from the cold. They addressed Krishna as follows.
Yeah, can someone else read text 14 and the following?
The gopis said, "Dear Krishna, don't be unfair. We know that you are the respectable son of Nanda and that you are honored by everyone in Braj. You are also very dear to us. Please give us back our clothes. We are shivering in the cold water."
15. Yeah.
"O Shamasundar, we are your maidservants and must do whatever you say, but give us back our clothing. You know what the religious principles are, and if you don't give us our clothes, we will have to tell the king, please."
Text 16, Krishna will reply.
Yeah. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "You girls are actually my maidservants. And if you will really do what I say, then come here with your innocent minds and let each girl pick out her clothes. If you don't do what I say, I won't give them back to you. And even if the king becomes angry, what can he do?"
Yeah, read also the purport, the short purport.
Yeah. Srila Prabhupada comments, when the Gopis saw that Krishna was strong and determined, they had no alternative but to abide by his order.
Thank you. So we will pause here till 6:40. It's 6:30 now, 10 minutes, and then we will discuss this further. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, we will resume our session that we read up till text 16, but I will go again over the commentaries of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. And they are very nectarian commentaries that I just read the nectar from the commentaries myself. Just a moment. So in text 9, the translation of the text was, "Taking the girl's garments, he quickly climbed on to the top of the kadamba tree. Then as he laughed loudly, and his companion also laughed, he addressed the girls jokingly." So Krishna laughed, and the 2-3 years boys also laughed. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur said, "The small boys, they laughed without any reason." Krishna laughed loudly, calling their attention to himself. He joked with the young girls. He said, "O young girls of Vraj, do you know who has put all these clothes on the branch of the kadamba tree? I was herding the cows, and from far I saw them and thought, today the kadamba tree is very colorful with flowers and fruit. To see this astonishing spectacle, I came running here and climbed this tree." The young girl said, "Those are our clothes." Krishna said, "That cannot be. If they were yours, how did they get up in this high branch of the tree?" They answered, "You have stolen them and put them there." Krishna replied, "You are blaming me? I am the son of King Nanda. Am I a thief? I can guess that today you want to go to Kamsa in Mathura." The young girl said, "Don't get angry. Just look closely at the clothing and see if they are women's or men's clothing." Krishna said, "According to my intelligence, because they are so colorful, they must be women's clothing. But so what? In this universe, you are not the only women. Are there no other women?" They said, "That is so, but who else except us can come to this isolated forest?" Krishna said, "O girls, who like to wander in lonely places, are you the only women that wander in lonely places and play secretly?" They said, "O fool, we did not come here to play. We came to worship Durga, the deity of this Kadamba tree. Krishna said, are you the only young women worshipping Durga? Are there no others? The young girl said, there are no others. Krishna said, O foolish ones, every night the Deva women come on celestial vehicles and perform worship to Durga here. They said, even if they did perform worship here, why would they leave their clothing and go away? The girl said. Next. That Krishna said, "O young girls, you do not know anything. Tonight they will come again and perform worship. After bathing, they will don these clothes. That is why they set them aside here." The girl said, "You do not know the truth. Today we will perform worship of the deity of the forest, as placed these clothes high up in the tree for us to wear after bathing." Anyway, so text 10. My dear girls, you may come here as you wish and take your garments. I'm telling you the truth, and not joking with you, since you are fatigued from executing austere vows. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur said, he writes, this verse illustrates how he joked with the girls. His joking was mentioned in the previous verses. If these clothes are really yours, then come here if you like and recognize your own clothes. Take them after paying me one small necklace each in order to satisfy me after you have insulted me. You must come each individually, not all at once, or 2 or 3 together, because out of greed for the cloth, one woman will take more than one cloth. The young girl said, we cannot go. Krishna laughingly said, O girls, weak ones, Abala, because of your intense austerities you have become weak and cannot come here. Another implication of the word Abala is, if you do not do this, I will not give this clothing because I'm strong, Bala. What can you do, weak women? So the young girl said, we do not trust your cheating words. Krishna said, I'm speaking the truth to you. Satyam can also mean true. I'm making a vow to you. Satyam can mean truth or vow according to the Amara Kosha dictionary. I'm not joking. Because of your vows, you have undergone difficulties. I show mercy and devotion to you and respect for Dharma because of your austerities. Then text 11. I've never before spoken a lie, and these boys know it. Therefore, slender-waisted girls, please come forward, either one by one or all together, and pick your clothes. In the next, then the Gopīs said, the commentary of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, because you are a liar, we don't believe your promise. Krishna then answered, biting his tongue, I've never told any lies. From birth till now, I've not had any occasion to lie. What is the proof? These young boys are the witnesses. These toddlers. They are reliable as witnesses because they naturally report whatever they see. The Gopīs said, from far off, please throw the clothes to us in the water, or have the young boys bring them here. Krishna said, How am I to know which is your clothing and which is someone else? How can I give them to you if I don't know? As I'm very religious, I don't touch others' things, even with my fingernail. You must come here and recognize your own clothes and take them. I do not take. Give or touch other things. That is my rule. The Gopi said, because you are so impotent, you can disgrace us. Out of this fear, being respectable women, we will not go near you. Krishna said, one of the young girls among you can come forward. If she is not disgraced and returns to you, then others can come one by one, or all can come together. Because if you are all together, it would be impossible to disgrace you. The head is called the topmost part of the body. It is very beautiful. Please show me your heads. If you can show me your heads, then you should not be embarrassed to show me your other beautiful limbs, including your beautiful waist. Text 12. Seeing how Krishna was joking with them, the Gopis became fully immersed in love for him. As they glanced at each other, they began to laugh and joke among themselves, even in their embarrassment, but still they did not come out of the water. So here, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, yes, Krishna might have replied, but there are so many of you that some of the girls may take clothes belonging to another. The Gopis replied, we are honest and never steal anything. We never touch another's property. Then Krishna would say, that's true. Then simply come and get out and get your clothes. What is the difficulty? So when the Gopis saw Krishna's determination, they were filled with loving ecstasy. Although embarrassed, they were enjoyed to receive such attention from Krishna. He was joking with them, as if they were the wives or girlfriends, and the Gopis' only desire was to achieve such a relationship with him. At the same time, they were embarrassed to be seen naked by him. But still they could not help laughing at his joking words, and even began to joke among themselves, one Gopi urging another, go ahead, you go first, let us see if Krishna plays any tricks on you, then we will go later. Yes. But yeah, that's Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur further says, seeing Krishna's secret joking, the Gopis became overcome with love. To make Krishna happy, I think we should not be self-conscious. Thinking like this, they all become to discuss among themselves in bliss. Glancing at one another, they became embarrassed. Then one said to another, oh lotus-eyed one is calling you. The other answered, O beautiful-faced one, you go and let them drink the nectar. In this way they joked among themselves, but stood in the water and did not move. Then we have text 13. As Shri Govinda spoke to the Gopis in this way, his joking words completely captivated their minds, submerged up to their necks in the cold water, and they began to shiver. Thus they addressed him as follows. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, Krishna started to, Govinda continued to joke that, O dark-eyed girls, if you don't come here, I will tie all these clothes to a branch of the tree and make a hammock and pillow, and I will down in it and go to sleep at night. Hearing this, the Gopi said, O Gopal, your cows greedy for grass have gone into a mountain cave. You must go quickly to bring them back. Krishna said, O Gopabal, coward girls, you should quickly leave here and go to Vraj to do your household duties. You should not make your parents and elders suffer. The Gopis said, for 1 month we will not go to our houses, as the order of our elders. After completing the Katyayani Vrata, we will fast for 1 month, Upavas. Krishna said, austere girls, seeing your austerity, I become detached from the house also. For 1 month I will make a vow and live here in the air, and if you are merciful to me, I will come down from the tree and do the vrata in the water with you. Hearing these joking words, the Gopis became fearful, and with water up to their necks began trembling from the cold and from the anxiety, joy, and eagerness. Text 14 in the purport. Vishvanashravarti Thakur says, the Gopis began to try to satisfy Krishna by Sama. You should not do unworthy activities. Krishna said, you do not respect me. You do fear calling me bad names. The Gopis said, we do not know any other places of Raj, and we know you, the son of King Nanda. Gopa means king, as well as the cowherd. Furthermore, you are praised by all the inhabitants of Raj, and you are loved by all. Krishna said, O foolish women, if I am a king's son, what wrong can I do? If you say that the king's son should not do any wrong actions, then I say, if I am doing wrong, how can I be praised by all of Raj and be so loved? It is not possible to praise or love a wrongdoer. That in reply the Gopi said, true, we women are ignorant of how to speak. Please forgive us and give us our clothing. We are shivering with cold. With these words they invoke his mercy. Text 15. And 16, we were at text 16. So then shivering from the painful cold. No, that is 17. We can continue reading from 17. Moment, I bring it on the screen. Yeah. Can someone read text 17 and purport?
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Thus, shivering from the painful cold, all the young girls rose up out of the water, covering their pubic area with their hands. Purport. The Gopis had assured Krishna that they were his eternal servants and would do whatever he said, and thus they were now defeated by their own words. If they delayed any longer, they thought some other man might come along, and this would be unbearable for them. The Gopis loved Krishna so much that even in that awkward situation, their attachment to him was increasing more and more, and they were very eager to stay in his company. Thus, they did not even consider drowning themselves in the river because of the embarrassing situation. They concluded that they could do nothing but go forward to their beloved Krishna, putting aside their embarrassment. Thus the Gopis assured each other that there was no alternative and rose up out of the water to meet him.
Right. Someone else can read text 18 and the purport.
When the Supreme Lord saw how the Gopis were struck with embarrassment, he was satisfied by their pure, loving affection. Putting their clothes on his shoulder, the Lord smiled and spoke to them with affection. Purport. Srila Prabhupada comments, the Gopis' simple presentation was so pure that Lord Krishna immediately became pleased with them. All the unmarried gopis who prayed to Katyayani to have Krishna as their husband were thus satisfied. A woman cannot be naked before any male except her husband. The unmarried gopis desired Krishna as their husband, and he fulfill their desire in this way. For aristocratic girls like the Gopis, standing naked before a young boy was worse than death, and yet they decided to give up everything for the pleasure of Lord Krishna. He wanted to see the power of their love for him, and he was completely satisfied by their unalloyed devotion. Thank you.
Someone else can read 19 and purport.
You girls, Lord Krishna said, you girls bathe naked while executing your will, and that is certainly an offense against the demigods. To counteract your sin, you should offer obeisances while placing your joint palms above your heads. Then you should take back your lower garments. Krishna wanted to see the full surrender of the gopis, and thus he ordered them to offer obeisances with their palms joined above their heads. In other words, the gopis could no longer cover their bodies. You should not foolishly think that Lord Krishna is an ordinary lusty boy enjoying the naked beauty of the gopis. Krishna is the supreme absolute truth, and he was acting to fulfill the loving desire of the young cowherd girls of Vrindavan. In this world, we would certainly become lusty in a situation like this, but to compare ourselves to God is a great offense, and because
Of this offense.
yes, I couldn't see. Yeah. Uh, In this world, we would certainly become lusty in a situation like this, but to compare ourselves to God is a great offense. And because of this offense, we will not be able to understand Krishna's transcendental position, for we will wrongly take him to be materially conditioned like ourselves. To lose transcendental sight of Krishna is certainly a great disaster for one trying to relish the bliss of the Absolute. Thank you.
Thank you. Text 20. Thus the young girls of Vrindavan considered what Lord Achyuta had told them, accepted that they had suffered a fall down from their vow by bathing naked in the river, but they still desired to successfully complete their vow, and since Lord Krishna is himself the ultimate result of all pious activities, they offered their obeisance to him to cleanse away their sins. I will read the third paragraph of this comment. So 500 years ago, Krishna appeared as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who practiced strict celibacy throughout his student life, and at the age of 24 took sannyas, a lifelong vow of celibacy. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu rigidly avoided contact with women in order to carry out his vow of loving service to Krishna. When Krishna personally appeared 5000 years ago, he exhibited these wonderful pastimes, which attract our attention. We should not become envious or shocked when we hear that God can perform such pastimes. Our shock is due to our ignorance, because if we try to perform these activities, our bodies would be afflicted by lust. Lord Krishna, however, is the supreme absolute truth, and is therefore never disturbed by any material desire whatsoever. Thus this incident, in which the gopis gave up normal standards of morality and raising their hands to their head, bowed down in compliance with Krishna's order, is an example of pure devotional surrender and not a discrepancy in religious principles. In fact, the gopi surrender is the perfection of all religion, as Srila Prabhupada describes in the Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The gopis were all simple souls, and whatever Krishna said they took to be true. In order to be freed from the threat of Varunadev, as well as to fulfill the desired end of their vows and ultimately to please their worshipful Lord, Krishna they immediately abided by his order. Thus they became the greatest lover of Krishna and his most obedient servitors. Nothing can compare with the Krishna consciousness of the Gopis. Actually, the Gopis did not care for Varuna or any other demigod. They only wanted to satisfy Krishna. Can someone read text 21 and 22?
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Text 21, translation. Seeing them bow down like that, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Son of Devaki, gives them back their garments, feeling compassionate towards them and satisfied by their act.
Thank you. Text 22.
22, translation. Although the Gopis had been thoroughly cheated, deprived of their modesty, ridiculed and made to act just like to idols, and although their clothing had been stolen, they did not feel at all inimical towards Krishna. Rather, they were simply joyful to have this opportunity to associate with their beloved.
Yes. Purport.
Purport. Srila Prabhupada comments, this attitude of the Gopis is described by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when he prays, my dear Lord Krishna, you may embrace me or trample me under your feet, or you may make me broken-hearted by never being present before me. Whatever you like, you can do, because you have complete freedom to act. But in spite of all of your dealings, you are my Lord eternally, and I have no other worshipable object. This is the attitude of the Gopis toward Krishna.
Thank you. I will now go back to the commentaries of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Let's see. We are going to text 21. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes, Krishna then gave all their garments, including the top portions, because he was pleased that they had done as he wished. Then 22. Though they criticized him, they had done as he said, which was impossible for any other. More astonishing, however, is that they became blissful. They had been deceived to the extreme by his words criticizing their nakedness. They had been made to give up their modesty. He mocked them, insisting that they come out to get their clothing. They were made to dance like puppets when he said, this is true, it's not a joke. They did not find fault in him, even when he told them to put their hands above their heads as Prayachita. Though all this was done by their beloved, they became blissful because they could meet him, because he was their beloved. Even actions causing suffering or joy for them, they became more attached to him for doing that. And so Bhurijan Prabhu commented here that prior to this point it was Purvarag. That Purvarag, so means they had the expectation to meet Krishna. But then now they got the association with Krishna. And they were completely thrilled that their relationship with Krishna was open. And now we will hear about Krishna's reciprocation. Krishna's reciprocation in text 23. Someone read text 23, please.
Hare Krishna. The gopis were addicted associating with their beloved Krishna, and thus they became captivated by him. Thus, even after putting their clothes on, they did not move. They simply remained there where they were, shyly gazing at him.
Glancing at him, yeah.
Purport.
Purport, yeah.
By association with their beloved Krishna, the gopis had become more attached to him than ever. Just as Krishna had stolen their clothes, he had also stolen their minds and their love. The gopis interpreted the whole incident as a proof that Krishna was also attached to them. Otherwise, why would he have gone to the trouble of playing with them in this way? Because they thought that Krishna was now attached to them, they glanced at him with shyness, and being stunned by the raising of their ecstatic love, they could not move from where they stood. Krishna had overcome their shyness and forced them to come out of the water naked. But now, having dressed properly, they again became shy in his presence. In fact, this incident increased their humbleness before Krishna. They did not want Krishna to see them staring at him, but they cautiously took the opportunity to glance at the Lord.
So this was Krishna's reciprocation. The rasa and the ecstasy just increased. That now text 24. So, someone can read 24 on the screen.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
The Supreme Lord understood the determination of the gopis in executing their strict vow. The Lord also knew that the girls desired to touch his lotus feet, and thus Lord Damodara Krishna spoke to them as follows.
So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has a comment here on this verse 24 that I will read it for you. O King of Enjoyers, we have received the result of our vows. Though you caused us extreme difficulty by which our very life heirs left, we agreed with what you requested. You made us leave the water, you made fun of us and saw our bodies, you put our clothes on your shoulder and wanted to give us only half of them back, and you spoke to us only as much as necessary. As an answer, we had given you a bashful glance only. Maybe we offended you by this, or maybe you are satisfied with this. We do not know. So, you who are knowledgeable of all time and place and person should speak to us foolish women. Hearing that, we will return home. Desiring to answer them, the Supreme Omniscient Lord then spoke in 3 verses. So they felt all that what happened was Krishna's kindness, and all they could do was offer them their bashful glances. Now there are 3 verses now, and that we will read these 3 verses 25, 26, 27 to end. Moment, go back. 25. Someone can read 25 and purport.
Translation. O saintly girls, I understand that your real motive in this austerity has been to worship me. That intent of yours is approved of by me, and indeed it must come to pass. Purport. Just as Krishna is free of all impure desire, so are the gopis. Their attempt to gain Krishna as their husband was therefore motivated not by a desire for personal sense gratification, but by their overwhelming desire to serve Krishna and to please him. Krishna Because of their intense love, those did not see Krishna as God, but rather as a most wonderful boy. And being beautiful young girls, they desired only to please him. Pure desire of the gopis and was thus satisfied. The Lord could certainly not be satisfied by ordinary lust, but he was moved by the intense loving devotion of the cowherd girls of Vrindavan. Hare Krishna.
So, thank you. So their desire was to intimately connect with Krishna as husband and wife. They wanted to be yours in that intimate way. They did the Katyayani Vrata for that. And text 5 we just read explains how it will happen. The next verse will explain why it will happen. Someone can read next verse, translation purport.
Desire of those who fix their minds on me does not lead to material desire for sense gratification. Just as barley corns burned by the sun and then cooked can no longer grow into new sprouts. Purport: the word maya veshita dhyam are very significant here. Unless one has achieved an advanced degree of devotion, one cannot fix the mind and intelligence on Krishna, since Krishna is pure spiritual existence. Self-realization is a state not of desirelessness, but rather of purified desire, wherein one desires only the pleasure of Lord Krishna. The gopis were certainly attracted to Krishna in the mood of conjugal love, and yet, having fixed their minds and indeed their entire existence completely on Krishna, their conjugal desire could never manifest as material lust. Rather, it became the most exalted form of love of Godhead ever seen within the universe.
Yeah, can you read also 27?
Go now, girls, and return to Vraja. Your desire is fulfilled, for in my company you will enjoy the coming nights. After all, this was the purpose of your vow to worship Goddess Katyayani, O pure-hearted ones.
Thank you. So Krishna said, your desire will be fulfilled. It's difficult to attain, but because of the gopis' desire to please him, because of their complete surrender, they gained the jewel they wished to possess. And this will not lead to material desires. So Sridhar Swami comments, O saintly girls, your desire was to worship me, and even out of embarrassment, you did not state this outright, and it is approved by me, and it deserves to become true. By using the word arati, must or deserves, which expresses probability, it is hinted that it would not necessarily be perpetual, because you will be going off to Mathura. Then, now I will just read Vishwanath Thakur, his comments on text 25. Yeah. It's, I try to move it, yeah, okay. Vishwanath Thakur. O chaste women, though out of modesty you have not spoken about your real desire in worship of me, to give me pleasure. I know and I accept it. Because your desire was pure, it must be fulfilled. What is not possible when it was done only for my pleasure, by prema, and when I am controlled by prema? At this point, the Kripa Shakti made the Lord's power more evident among the gopis. though the power was still under the control of Prema and subject to the pastimes. By this power, he knew the Gopis' austerities in worship of Katyayani to attain him and gave them the results according to the words of Garga that Krishna was similar to Narayan, but the Gopis now took Krishna as Narayan. So this means that the love of the residents of Vrindavan controls Krishna so much that it forces him to act as he is not the omniscient, all-powerful Supreme Personality of Godhead, but act as he is a cowboy. Their love is as such a level that it controls Krishna. He was fully absorbed in the Katyayana Vrata pastimes. So we will go up to text 28 today. So that 28, last verse. Sukadev Goswami said, thus instructed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the young girls, their desire now fulfilled, could bring themselves only with great difficulty to return to the village of Vraj, meditating all the while upon his lotus feet. Purport. The Gopis' desire was fulfilled because Lord Krishna had agreed to act as their husband. A young girl can never spend a night with any except her husband, and thus when Krishna agreed to engage the girls in the nocturnal rasa dance during the coming autumn season, in effect he was agreeing to reciprocate their love for him in the role of a husband. So we will have here, I will read also to finish, Srila Vishwanatha Bhakti Thakur, his commentary on this verse. So I share again commentary. "28 purport. Yeah, it's short. The Gopis returned with great difficulty to Vraj because Krishna had already stolen their hearts, eyes, and other senses. So we will see tomorrow the next part of the chapter, which is first glorifying the trees of Vrindavan. But this was the pastime of the Gopis, the unmarried Gopis, that Krishna steals the garments of the unmarried Gopis. Any comments that some sharing?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Just an observation. It seems like that in order to come close to Krishna, we have to come as we are. Basically, we cannot hide anything to him.
Yes.
Just an observation, basically.
That's a very good comment. That yes.
And the example of the Gopis is not meant to be as it is, that Krishna wanted to see them, their bodies, but rather come as you are, then you can come close to me. Don't hide anything from me.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's mentioned in the purport also. Krishna reciprocates because of their pure desire, so he could see their pure desire. That's a very interesting comment. That And Krishna sees our desire also, and the purity of our desire, and according to the purity of our desire, he will reciprocate. And because the Gopis' desire was so pure, he was controlled by their love. So what lesson can we learn from it? That is our desire pure in Krishna consciousness, or do we want also things for ourselves in this world? That is our service selfless or partially material motivated? As long as we have material desires in our heart, there will be some level of material desire, material attraction, and born of false ego. So that's a very good lesson to learn. Therefore, Krishna also shows us his pastimes, because these unmarried gopis, it was mentioned in the beginning, are nitya siddhas, eternal associates of Krishna, who came from Golok to this world to show, to teach us what is pure love and what surrender means. Thank you. Any other comments?
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Do we know of how many gopis were in this pastime?
I have no
You
idea,
don't know.
but I did 3 times the Vrajamandal Parika, and every year we come at that place of this tree where Krishna had his pastimes, and the tree is decorated with many colorful cloth. That is a big tree. Could be many gopis. I don't know how many, no idea, but many. Yeah. And also it is said in the purpose that some of the married gopis were also invited to get, and that's interesting. That yes. That any other comments?
So, Maharaj, these married girls also, they worship Katyayani?
Can you repeat this again?
The married girls also worship Katyayani or only the unmarried?
No, only the unmarried, but it was the last day of their vow of the unmarried gopis, and therefore they invited also some of the married gopis to get blessings. That was the last day, but no, it's only the unmarried gopis who are married, who did this Katyayani fast. That does not mean that married gopis may also not pray to Krishna to please make Krishna your husband. That's another thing. But this is the pastime of the unmarried gopis who are praying to Katyayani. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Good. Then we will continue tomorrow. You can read.
Recording stopped.
You can read till the end of the chapter. And that tomorrow in the first part we will finish this chapter, and we will read also a part of some quotes of Bhaktivedanta and other and then we will go into the pastimes of the wives of the ritualistic Brahmins. Exciting pastime. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Jai Prabhupada.
Thank you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.